Can others give a hi in the Q&A? The Q&A will be here. I'll share my screen and I'll tell you where is the Q&A. So it will be on the, yeah. So is my screen visible? It will be on this side. So here, if you click, you will have this Q&A. Yeah, here you will have Q&A. Can you give a hi in this Q&A? Can everyone give a hi in this Q&A? Cool. Fine. So let's continue with the discussion. So we'll finish this project now. Okay. So so this is the final project of this particular HTML CSS course. Okay. So so this is the first page. This is the index.html page. It's not given here, but this is the index.html. Okay. So you have a nav bar and some text here. Okay, and two input fields. The first one is a username called John Doe. It has a placeholder called username. Second is a password field. Some values their default value. It has a placeholder called password. Then there is a sign in button. Let's say we click on sign in button, we are taken to post.html page. Okay, so here we have a nav bar with posts. If I click on posts, it's again like staying in the same page only. If I click on friends, I'm going to friends.html. If I click on sign out, I am coming to index.html back. Okay, so we have 3 pages to build. So we will see what all things to build in posts. We have a input field called post title and image link. This is the second input field, and some create post button. Then we have each multiple posts here. So we have this post with some profile image and some name, some text, some image which is of this dimensions. All the images are of same dimensions, and we have number of likes and a like button. So similar thing for other posts also. So this we have. Then we have a friends page. We just have one card and profile image, name, and an unfriend button. All these are static right now because we are not building any backend for this. Everything is like front-end stuff. Okay. So this we built yesterday only. Okay, but still I will go ahead and build this page again for you. So build the entire project from scratch. Okay. So let's get started. So obviously, like you have a folder in desktop called repos. So everyone should have it. This is where you should keep all the repositories. So you can create a new folder called final project. Okay, this is HTML CSS. Okay, so final HTML CSS project. Okay, now I've created the folder. I'll open this folder in VS Code. Okay, I'll click on file and open folder. I have the projects here in repos in desktop, and I have to open this folder. Okay. Now I open the folder. I have to create the first file. Always we are creating the first file as index.html. This is a must because every uh, project should start with an index.html. That's where the page loads first. Okay. So we'll first create an index.html. As usual, we will do HTML head title. I'll give title as sign in because this is a sign in page. We need a body. Okay, for now I'll just give a p tag called sign in. So this is the page. We have this p tag. Okay, so and some two inputs and a button. Okay, so now let me run this file in live server. Okay, so I get this sign in. Okay, let's add the style sheets. First, I'll add our custom style sheet, link CSS, and we will create a file called style.css. So this file name should be same as the file which you have here, file name which you have mentioned here. It should be same. Okay. Also, we have to add Bulma style sheet. Okay. So you can add the Bulma style sheet here. Like we have this link, add Bulma style sheet to our HTML page. So you have to click on this link to open the documentation. Click on HTML and copy this link for Bulma style sheet and paste it above the style sheet, above our custom style sheet. Okay. Now this is done. We don't need this. This is our project. Okay. So we have the sign in text. Okay. Now we know with Bulma, we can easily apply this box class. So I'll give a class called box. So we got a box here. If you have attended yesterday's class or seen yesterday's recording, you will know how this came. This came from Bulma. So we got a class from Bulma. Okay, the class is called box. Okay, so let's give an ID called nav bar. It's the navigation bar. Why we are giving ID? Because we will have only one nav bar and sign in page. Okay, so I'll copy this ID. Okay, so what I want now is I want the sign in text to be in the center. Okay, so for that we have to use the property called text align center. Okay, so now this has come to center. So the nav bar is done. I've just given sign in. Now I need two input field and a button. So let me create the input fields and the button. So input. Okay, this placeholder I'll keep it as username and value. Value I'll show what is that. So username. If I give some value, it will be some default value. So I'll give Prem. Okay, I'll give it's a default value. If you remove this, it will be the username placeholder. Okay, so I'll give the next input. Now I'll give a placeholder called password, and I'll give a value 123. Next is a button. This button should be sign in button. Okay, sign in button. Okay, so what we can do is we can again give a card here for these three elements. So we have to wrap all these three elements together. Okay, so that we know how to do that. We have to put a div outside these three elements to wrap them. So we will put a div and give the closing div here. Okay, so let me format. So this is the opening div and the closing div, and all the three items, two input and a button, I've put it inside the div. This will give us the box kind of enclosure. So by giving the class box. Okay, if I see the output, I have this box outside here. Okay, now I need to style the input and the buttons. Okay, so for styling the input, we saw the class name. Can anyone tell what is the class name to style the style using Bulma? What is the class name for Bulma input? Does anyone remember? What class name to give for Bulma input to style Bulma? Okay. So if you guys don't remember, I'll just, yeah, input. Yeah, that is right. It's just input. Okay. Uh, yeah, so it is just input. So we can just give a class called input. So if you see, this is the styled input and this is the plain input. So if we apply class called input, it will get styled. Okay. So this class I will apply again to the second input. Okay. Uh, I'll give a for styling the button. We have to give two classes. First is just a button class. This will almost give a transparent or like a white button. Let's give some color to make it look better. So I'll give is primary. So if I give is primary, it will get this kind of like green color. Okay. Now what we can do next is make the all the things aligned to center, and let's give some space also. For that we have to select this box, select all the three elements together. We already have a div. So to select the div, I'll give some ID called sign in box. Okay, so this is my own ID name called sign in box. I'll select the sign in box here. Okay, so we can give some margin in the top. Okay, so I'll give some 4 rem. Margin top 4 rem. Okay, I got some 4 rem space here. Now I'll give some margin left and margin right. Okay, margin left I'll give in percentage because I want the site to be responsive. So I'll give some percentage here. Okay, if you see, it's occupies 15% of the entire screen. Okay, now I'll give another margin right 15 percentage. Now I got 15 percentage here. Okay, now I'll give some spacing between the input fields. Before that, we can align everything to the center. So I'll put text align center. So everything gets aligned to the center. Now I'll select just the password field and give space, some space on the top and some space in the bottom. Okay. To select the password field, I'll give a ID called password FIELD password field as the ID. I have to select the ID here, password field. Now I want some margin at the top. I'll give 1 rem. For some reason, it's not getting applied. Sorry. I'll give this pass. I have to give this password field to the password field. Password input, I have given it to button by mistake. So I'll give it here. Okay. And we still have the file like the style margin top 1 rem. So hopefully now we should have a space between. This is the password field. So we have given 1 rem at the top. We should also give 1 rem at the bottom so that there is some space between the input and the sign in button. Okay, so I'll give some margin bottom 1 rem. Okay, so I got this. So almost looks same. Okay, let's check whether it is responsive. Nothing breaks. Okay, we have to check from 400 pixels. That's where the mobile sizes start. If it goes big, nothing happens. So it's like nothing bad happens to our responsiveness. Okay, now if I click on sign in here, I should be taken to post.html. If I click on sign in, I'm taken to post.html. So we need a post.html page. Okay, so let's create a post.html page. Post.html. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll give the basic templates here. HTML, head, title, I'll give as post, and body. Okay, I'll just give for now, I'll give some p tag as post page. Okay, so let's link the post page in index.html. So how to link it? We have to give a anchor tag outside the button, because when we're clicking the button, we are being taken to post.html. So we'll give an anchor tag here. Okay, this anchor tag should take us to post.html. Okay, now I'll put the closing anchor tag outside the button. Formatting the document. Okay, so I have the anchor tag outside the button. So if I click on the button, I'll be taken to post.html. This page. This page only has some p tag called post page. So we have been taken to post.html. We have this p tag post page. Okay, now to apply the styles here, what we can do is we can copy our style sheet and Balma style sheet and put it in again in post.html page. Okay, we'll format the document post.html page. So this will also get styled when we apply styles. Balma style will obviously get applied when we just put the class names. Our own style, we can again put it in a single style.css sheet. Okay. Now in post.html page, we have 3 anchor tags. These are links. So we need 3 anchor tags called post, friends, and sign out. First, let's create that. Okay, so we don't need this. We need 3 anchor tags. First anchor tag should be post. Okay. Second anchor tag should be friends. And the third anchor tag should be logout. Okay, now we know the logout should take us back to index.html page. It's simple. Like when we click on logout, we should again go back to the first page. So that is simple. We'll check whether that is working or not in our project. So we have post, friends, nothing happens. We have not linked anything. But when I click on logout, I'll be taken to index.html. Okay. So this is the thing. Now for post and friends, post should again bring to post.html only. So I'll just put post.html for this. It should again come back to the same page. When I click on post, it should come back to the post.html, and this is the same page. Okay. So for this, we need to have some friends.html page. Okay. So I'll put friends.html. We are yet to create the file. Okay. So we will create the file called friends.html. Okay, so right now, if you see, this title will be different in the friends page. The title should be different. Otherwise, if you see, these 3 links should be there in that page also. Okay. So for what we can do is, okay, so we are yet to design the nav bar. So let's keep it like that. For now, I'll just put some p tag here. Okay, so I'll just give HTML head, title as friends, okay, body, I'll give friends page. Okay, here we can again apply the same styles. I'll format the document. Okay, so here we have this thing done. Okay, so if I click on friends, I should be taken to friends.html. I'm in post.html page. If I click on friends, I've been taken to friends.html and just friends page is there. Okay. So first let's properly design the nav bar first, and let's use the same nav bar in friends.html because it's almost same. If you see, post.html also has the same nav bar. Friends.html also has the same nav bar. So first let's design the nav bar properly here in post.html and just copy paste it. That will be same. Okay. So first let's design it. So all these three things should be together. So what we can do is we can give a div tag, give the closing tag outside format. Okay. So now I'll give some ID. Okay. So this ID, I cannot give navbar to, let's keep it like separate. We have already got a navbar in the index.html. So for this, we'll give a class instead because we are using the same navbar again in friends.html. So we'll give a class called some main navbar. Okay. So I'll copy this class. I'll select it in my styles.css. For class, we have to give dot, and for ID, we have to give hash. So that is the difference. Okay, and ID can be used only once. Class can be used multiple times. So here I'm going to use the navbar again. So I've just for keeping it consistent, I've given a class name here. Okay, so okay, so now we also need a card or a box class. So this box class is coming from Balma. So if you see the output, I have a box here. Okay. Now what I'll do is I need to create 3 columns, and each column I have to keep post, friends, and logout. Let me do that. So for that, I'll have to select the main navbar. It's already selected. Okay. So first I have to give display grid. I'm making a grid. Now I'll give grid template columns. Okay. So that is, I'll give 33%, 34%, and 33%. Okay. So if you are guys are new to the class, you can refer to our previous recording, which is shared in the group. Okay. So we will be like teaching grid there. Okay. It will be 2 days before that class. So I will share the entire list of recordings post this class also. So if you have doubts in grid, you can refer to that video. Okay. So once the grid is given, I want to align everything to center. So again, text align center. Okay. So now I have all the things in center and properly aligned, same as like what we have here. Okay. So we need the same navbar in friends.html page also. So what I'll do is now since the navbar is complete and I've given everything here, so I'll just copy this navbar. I'll go to friends.html. I'll paste it here. Okay. So just to differentiate, I'll just give a p tag here below called post. So indicating that this is the post page. I'll give a p tag here just to differentiate when we are checking the output. I'll give this as friends. Okay. So now this is the friends.html page having p tag friends. Okay. When I click on posts, I go to post.html. It is post. Okay. When I click on logout, obviously I'm taking to index.html. So the basic navbar is done in both the pages now. Okay. Now let's start doing the post page. This page has the maximum amount of work. Okay. So we have to first create these 2 outputs and a button. Okay. So let's create 2 outputs and a button. So that will be in post.html page. Okay. So let's create 2 inputs. First input has a placeholder called post title. So the placeholder is post title. The second input as a placeholder image link. And third, I have a button. Okay, this button is create post. Okay, so basically what it happens is now we don't have a backend, so we cannot play around with this, but basically you can put the post title and the image link. So this is the post title and image link. Okay, this is how you create a post, right? You give some title and you give some image, and when you click on create post, you create a post. That happens in a full stack applications, which we will, if you're taking our full stack course, we will be covering that. Okay, so right now the things are static. Okay, so this means the post title, and this means the image which you want to post. When and after you create post, you are supposed to have this card created. Okay, so for now we have just created two inputs and a button. Let's see the output. So we have created two inputs and a button. Okay, now we have to style it. So let's apply the class called input. Same class can be applied here. Okay, so these two are styled. Now let's style the button create post. Okay, so the class is button is primary for the color. If we see the output, we have this. Okay, now what we can do is we can create a card, or I think the card is not there, it's just plain. So but what we need to do is we need to place all the three things in horizontal direction. Okay, now everything is in vertical direction, right? So we have to place it in horizontal direction. So to do that, we have to use the grid. Okay, CSS grid. So to apply CSS grid, we need a container wrapped around these three elements. Okay, so I'll give a now I can give an ID because we have only one post create this thing. So this container I can give as post create box. Okay, this is the post create box. It's I'm just naming it like that. Okay, now I want to apply display grid, and I want to create three columns because we want to arrange these three in column wise. Okay, so I'll give copy this ID name. I'll go to style.css. I'll paste it here. Okay, so I'll give display grid and grid template columns. Okay, so I'll give again the same 33%, 34%, and 33%. Okay, now we have all the three things aligned in column wise. Okay, so but we need some spacing here. Okay, so let's try to give some spacing. Okay, first let's select the post title input. Okay, the post title input is here. Okay, I'll give a ID because there is only one input field. Okay, I'll give an ID called post title. I'm copying this ID, selecting it in CSS. I'll give margin left. Okay, so to keep the things responsive, what I can do is I can give margin left. I'll give some 5% and I'll see how much space it's coming. Okay, post.html. I put the title here in the wrong HTML file. I have to give it in post.html. So this is the post title. So I'll give it here. Okay. So this ID I've already selected and given margin left as 5%. Let's see. So yeah, so this has been 5%, but the entire thing has been moved. If you see, this has gone behind the image link. Okay. So what we have to do is we will select the image link also and give some margin left. Okay. So we'll select the image link. Okay, so this is the image. Sorry, again I've come to index.html. Okay, so here this is the image link input. So I'll give that ID called img link. I've pasted it here. Now I'll give some margin left. I'll give some 5% and I'll check. I've given 5% only, very less space is there. So this is what the framework is about. Like, so when you're using a framework, some CSS framework, it obviously makes your life easier, right? But again, like there are some inbuilt styling which the frameworks come by default. So if you use lot of your components, direct components in your framework, you have to start fighting your framework. That's why we are keeping the elements which we are taking from the framework to minimum. Okay, you can also take the entire like the card feature and put it here. The Bulma has a card feature. Okay, you can take and put it here, but again you will start fighting the framework. So that's why we have to keep the elements which you are taking from the framework to the minimum. Okay, because if you put 5%, the spacing is not coming enough. I'll put 10%. Okay, now I have enough space now. But again, like this image has been moved here. Okay, so what I will do is now I'll select the button now. Okay, so I'll just select the button. So this button I'll give an ID. Why I keep going to index.html page. Okay, so I am in post.html. Okay, so I'll create this button ID. Okay, so for this I'll just name the button as create post button. So I'm selecting this again in style.css. I'll give margin left as 5%. We'll see again the same problem. So we will give 10%. So if I have to give more percentage so that it aligns properly. Okay, because there are some inbuilt styling in the inputs which we are like clearing off. Okay, so I have to give more spacing. Now I need some spacing here in the right side of the button also. So I'll give margin right as now I'll try giving 5%. Okay, so it's giving some space. Okay, so CSS is more like an kind of like a art rather than like direct science. That's why like when people start learning CSS, right? So they want things to be consistent. Like when you learn JavaScript, this is like a programming language which will be like logical at most of the times. But CSS is like little bit, it is like art and like more than science, more than the exact facts, right? So there'll be like always some things which you have to like adjust in CSS and like play around. Okay, so so that is what CSS is. It's a little bit different than HTML and like other programming languages like JavaScript. uh, right, so so CSS is kind of like a different kind of skill. Okay, so we have designed our these things, right? Now this is the main part, the card. So for this I had given the code already. If you have seen it, like the code will be here. Okay, so for the post I've given it. If you had like practiced, you can see the code and like you can practice on your own. Right now we'll again create it again. So for this card we need a profile picture and a name and text So this is the person who is posting uh, this thing and the image. Okay, and how many likes they have got and a like button. Okay, so let's start creating it. So this needs to be inside a div. All these things needs to be inside a div. So before only we will first create a div. Okay, first we need a image. Okay, so image, I will take the same image, copy image address. Okay, so I put the image. If you see, like without the styled image will be like somewhat bigger. Oops, this is the proper like image size. We have to make it small like this. And whatever the image size is, the second image will be of different size. So each one uploads the image in different size, right? So we have to be consistent. Okay, so this should also have the same dimensions as this image and also the third image. Okay, so we have to style that. The second is we have some name. Okay, so let's give the name. Okay, once the name is given, let's give this text. Okay, after the text, we have another post image. Okay, I'll just copy image address. I need to put this image in source. Okay, then finally, after the image is done, we have a normal text called how many likes are there. So I'll give a p tag called 100 likes. Then I have a button. Okay, the button should say like. So we have put all the elements now. If you see the things without styling, you will be like, okay, what is this? So this is the profile image. This is the name, which is down, and the text, which is here. And again, this is the post image, the likes and the like button. So we have to put it in this format. We want everything in this format. Okay, so first let's create the box. Okay, we know how to create this. We have to just add a class called box. Okay, let's first do that outside the div. We have to have a class called box. So we'll check the output. If you can see, there is a line here. We got the box. If you can see below. Okay, so the entire box is now formed. Now to see the box clearly, we'll just give some spacing on the top. Okay. So I'll create a class now because we have to repeat the same box again and again for multiple posts, right? So we'll give a class. This I'll give as postcard. This class I'll give as postcard because it's a single post. So I'll select this in CSS file. It's a class, so I'll give dot. I'll give some margin top as 2rem. So margin top here is 2rem. Okay, I'll give some margin left as percentage, 15%. Okay, this is the same mistake, right? So we have to give the class names together with a space. So this box class is coming from style Balma, and this postcard is our own class name which we are declaring. So this goes in style.css postcard. This box has been coming from Balma. So Balma has a class name called box, which gives us the box. Now, if you see, the output will be there. So we have some 15% margin to the left. Let's do the same thing for the right. Okay. So margin left is 15%, margin right I'll give another 15%. Okay, so now we have these two things. Let's make the image look as we want. So we want a small image here of this profile. So for that, what we will do is first let's select the image. So this is the image. I'll give a class. Okay, so this is the profile image. So I'll give it as profile image as the class. I've copied this. It's a class, so I'll give dot profile image. Okay, I'll give margin. Sorry. So for image, we saw how to style the images, right? In our CSS class. So we have to give height. I'll give the height as 5 rem, and width also I'll give as 5 rem. Okay, now I got this 5 rem dimensions right, but if you can see, the image is little bit elongated along horizontal direction. I don't want the image, this to happen, the image. So we have a property to fix it. Okay, we have seen this also in the CSS class. It's called object fit cover. Okay, if you see the output, so the image is just cropped and made sure that it's not distorted. Okay, so this is done. Now let's work on this image, this huge image. We want something like this. Okay, something like this. So let's do that. Okay, let's work on the image. So here is that image. Okay, so this I'll give a class called post image, post img. I'll select this class in style.css. Okay, now I'll give some height as 20 rem. Let's see. So the height is 20 rem, but I want the image to be of the entire box, the width to be of entire box. Can anyone tell me how to make it here for the entire box? Can anyone tell me? How to make the image occupy the entire that card? Yeah, that's right, Saurav. Yeah, it is with 100%. So I need a width to be 100%. So I got the width. This entire image now occupies 100% of the parent container. The parent container is the box. Okay. So if you see, if you just work in normal HTML, this extra padding won't come. But Bulma gives this padding by default, right? So it makes our styling a little bit easier. Okay. So this is now done. Let's also make the button in a different color. So for that, we have to give a class called button. Okay, now I'll give isChanger a different color. So it's coming in red color now. Okay, so now this is done. Another thing is now the name has to come here in the center. It has to come in the same column in the center. Okay, so we will do with CSS grid. So for that, what we have to do is we have to wrap the name and the image, profile image in a single div, because we have to apply CSS grid. Okay, I'll format the document. So here I'll give a class. Now this div container is having image, profile image, and name. So I'll just give the thing as pic and name. Okay. So I'm selecting this class. Okay. So I'll give display grid template columns. Okay. Now some interesting thing here is I can give the first column to be at the same size as the width of the profile image. the width of the profile image is 5 rem. So I can fix the column of the first thing to be 5 rem, right? So I'll do that. So I'll first keep the first column as 5 rem. Okay. Now this is the remaining space which will be there. Okay. So the name I can give in percentage. Okay. I can either give in 30 percentage. So if this is 100 percentage, it will occupy 30 percentage of the remaining uh, column, right? So I can give percentage or I can give rem. Anything is fine. If I give 20 rem, also 20 rem will be too much. I'll give 10 rem. Okay, so now I got the name here. So this, whatever name it is, it will occupy 10 rem space. Okay. Okay. Uh, so now what I'll do is I'll give some space to the left, and I'll also make the name come center. Okay. So for that, like I have to select the name. So the name, I have not given any class name yet for the name. Okay. So I'll give a class called profile name. Okay. So I'll select the class now. Profile name. I'll give some margin top. Okay. So this is entirely 5 rem, right? So I'll give some 2 rem here in the top of this text. So it will come in the center. Okay. I'll try giving some 2 rem for the name. Okay. So it's almost in the center. I'll also give 1 rem space in the left. Okay. So I'll give margin left as 1 rem. Okay. So I got the space. Now this is fine. What we can do is we need to like give some space for the text. Okay. So this post text. So this is the post text. So I'll give a class called post text. Again, copying this class in style.css. Okay. So I'll give some margin top 1 rem, margin bottom 1 rem. Okay. So I got some space here also and here also. Okay. Now this part is done. This entire part is done now. Okay. This entire part is done. Now again, like this image is not looking good. It's kind of like distorted. We need some image like this. So what is the property? Just now we saw how to fix this image. So what is the property we have to fix the image here? Which property to give to fix the image? Yeah. So it's cover. The property is called object fit. Okay. Object fit, we have to give cover. So for the post image here, right? So we have to give object fit cover. If we do that, then the image looks proper now. Okay. We will also give some space below the image. Okay. So we'll give some margin bottom as 1 rem. Okay. So we have some space here. Now we need to give some space between the likes and the like button. Okay. So we can select either of that. We can either select the likes or we can select the like button. So I'll select the likes. So I'll just give likes as the class. Okay, I'll give margin. For the likes, we need margin bottom 1 rem. Okay. So yeah, so the card is done. The card is looking as we wanted, right? Other things now is just copy paste only. We just have to change the image. Okay. So I'll do that. I'll create this card next. It's just copy paste. Nothing else has to be done. So this is the entire card, right? So this thing is the entire card. Postcard. This is the post description, image, likes, and the thing. So here from this div to this div. This is the entire card. Okay. So I'll copy paste it thrice. Sorry, twice. So this is one time, and I'll paste it again. So we will have three things, but all three will be same images. We have to change the image. So I'll just take the image from here, copy image address. Okay. So to close the things, right? So to see like where the code is like exactly, we can do this. So this will just close this block. In VS Code, this is some technique. Now this box is closed. This box is closed. This box is closed. Okay. So these are the three postcard. The first card, nothing we have to work on. Let's work on the second card and change the image links. Okay. So we have already copied the image address, right? So for the profile, so I'll just put it here. Okay. Let's see whether it has been changed. Yeah. So the profile image has been changed. Okay. The name is same, and this image is also same. So that also we have to change. So the name is John Doe. Okay. So we'll give the name as John Doe. Okay. And text, for now, let's keep the text like that only. Okay. We need this image, copy image address. So this is the post image. This we have to change. Okay. And let's put, instead of 100 likes, let's put 1000 likes. Okay. And you have already, the particular person has already liked the post. So instead of like, we can give liked. Okay. So if you check the output, this is our project. First post, John Doe, different name, different image here. Okay, this image and this image dimensions are same. 1000 likes, and we have booked liked here. Okay, let's do the same for the third image also. So let's close this box. Okay, now let's open the third, and let's copy the image address. Copy image address. So we'll paste it here, and her name is Olivia Brown. Okay, and this is the image which she had posted. So I'll just copy image address. Okay, so let's keep it 10 likes, and we have not liked the post. Okay, so here it is 4 likes, so we have to put 10 likes there. Yeah, so our image and 10 likes. So this page is done. Okay, it's looking like as how we wanted. Okay, now this is done. Now we need to create the friends page. Okay, so what we can do is, it's just these things are same. The name and the image is same, just the unfriend button is different. Okay, so what we can do is to make things little bit easier. What we can do is we can uh, just copy paste it. Okay, because the same box and the same things are there. Okay, so here I'll just put this. Okay, I'm not changing any class names. Okay, I'll just keep everything same. This text we don't need, and the image also we don't need. The profile image we need. We don't need the text of the post, and also we don't need the post image, that big image. Okay, also we don't need the likes, number of likes. Instead we need a button called unfriend. Okay, so I'll just give this as unfriend. FRIEND, unfriend. Okay, so I think there has been a mistake in copy pasting. This top div I didn't copy paste it, so I'll do that. Okay, I'll format the code. Okay, so I have the pick and name class here. Okay, so this is a different div. Okay, so this div only has the profile image and the name. This div is getting closed here. Next is the outside box, which only has the button called unfriend. So this should work. Okay, let's check the output. This is the project. So here it is there. Okay, so the only thing which we have to do is we have to give some space in the top. Okay, so what we can do is we can select the button first. So button, to select the button, let's give a class. Okay, so the class is already here. So class is already created. So we'll just give unfriend button. I'll select this in my style.css. I'll just need a margin top 1 rem. Okay, so now this is how I wanted it. Okay, so the same thing has to be done for John Doe and like the other person, Olivia. Okay, so this is post.html. This is done. So this I have to paste it twice. First, second. Okay, so I just need their profile images and names. Okay, so let me quickly put that. I'll just copy image address. This is the first box already done. Second box, I need to change the image. Okay, I need to change the name also. Name is John Doe. Now this box is done. Okay, now the third box, this is the image. And I need to change the name. Okay, now it should look the same as this. Yeah, so yeah, so this is done. Posts is done. Tense is done and logout is done. Okay, so yeah, finally we have completed our HTML CSS final project. What we can do is now to recap on the deployment side, right? So let's recap on the deployment and the GitHub side. You guys also upload this project to GitHub after you complete it. So okay, so we have seen how to create a GitHub account. Okay, so you can just open GitHub. Okay, you can click on new. So I'll give final HTML CSS project. So keep the naming consistent. Okay, so here I have final HTML CSS project. This is what my local file name is, right? So from the day we started working only, we have some 5 projects, some 5-6 projects. So as you keep working, the projects will keep on increasing. If you see my actual repos folder, which is my personal repos folder, the number of projects just keeps going on. So you have to keep the naming consistent. Whatever name you have in the local, the same you should have it here, so that like okay, this is my local project which is there in the GitHub. Okay, so I'll just copy this name. I think I've given the same name here anyways to keep the spelling also this thing. Okay, I've just copy pasted. So I have this project, okay, in GitHub. Okay, so I keep it public. I don't add a readme. I'll just create a repository. Okay, so now I have created the repository. Now we have to upload the files. So here you can see upload an existing file. I'll click on that. You can either drag and drop the files or you can choose the files. Okay, so I'll just choose the files. These are in my desktop, repos, final HTML, CSS. I need all the files. I'll select all the files and click on open. So now it is uploading all the 4 files. Okay, the 4 files are uploaded. Okay, I'll give a commit message. I have to give. add files. So we'll see what is commit message and all, and how to actually upload to GitHub using Git in our like full stack course. Okay, so we'll see these things in detail there. So I just give a commit message for now. Okay, and I'll click on commit changes. So this will take some time. Yeah, now it is uploaded. Now, if you can share this link with anyone, they can see what project you have built. So this link, if I open in my incognito window, I can see. So anyone can see the code here. I'm not logged in. I'm just open in the incognito window because my repository is public. Anyone can come and see my code. And any recruiter, if they're coming, they'll check your projects. They can see your projects, like how you have built and like uh, your source code. Okay. So this we have uploaded now. Okay. Now the uploading is done for with respect to GitHub. Now we need to deploy to Vercel. Okay. So let's open Vercel. Okay. So let's add a new project here. So this is the repository which we had uploaded. Since my Vercel is connected to GitHub, it will automatically show the projects which I have uploaded to GitHub. Okay. Now I can click on import. That's it. One single deploy, just a single click deploy. It is taking some time, so it's building, and yeah, now deployment is done. Okay, so this link, if I open, this link you can share with anyone. And this link would have already been updated in my GitHub also. So when someone comes to my code, they can see my code, actual code. How is my actual code? And also they can click on this link and see my project. So it's deployed to Vercel and they can see my project. Okay. So if I click on sign in, I'll be taken to post.html. Okay. If I click on friends, I'm taken to this page. If I click on logout, I'm taken to index.html. Okay. So we have uploaded to GitHub and deployed to Vercel. It's done. Okay. So you guys also have to do this. Right. You can do it. You can upload to GitHub and deploy to Vercel. Okay. So any doubts still here? Any doubts? Anyone? Okay, so we are done with our final project, right? So this is the thing which we wanted to cover in our HTML CSS batch, right? I also explained about the course, the full stack course which we are taking in last class also. So now also I'll go through it again. So this is the PDF. This PDF I'll share it in the group again tomorrow or something. Okay. So this is the course curriculum which we are planning to cover. So we will cover the HTML CSS part again, right? So if you guys have not attended the few classes, we'll cover it again, and we'll give the projects. You can build the projects, right? So there we will have a separate WhatsApp group which you can chat also. Okay, so the doubts and all you can get it cleared during the when you're building the projects, when you're stuck with bugs. And after the HTML CSS, we'll be covering JavaScript in detail. Okay, so all the here we start from basics to advanced, and also we'll cover the DOM part of it. And we have some pretty complex concepts like async await, promises, and yeah, promise.all is again like a very complex concept, right? So then we have some assignments and 3 JavaScript projects. The projects are like weather app and JSON placeholder API, one app, and one basic project. Okay. Then after we finish JavaScript is required to learn React and Express. So React is the front end framework. We cover all the things in React. Okay, so for even routing also. So and like some 3-4 hooks we cover. Okay, so this will make sure that you are good in React, and post that we go to backend. Backend also we cover almost everything. Middlewares. So middlewares is like a very important topic, and CRUD, create, read, update, delete, and we also teach Postman. And for authentication, like we use hashing and bcrypt and JSON web tokens. These packages we use, and we also teach about hashing. Okay, so this will give us the security part of it, like how to hash the password and store it in database, right? So these things we will be covering here in the authentication part. And after the backend is there, like these concepts are like taught in the starting only, like Git and GitHub. Right now we only learned GitHub, but the actual way to upload files to Git is is using Git we have not seen in this HTML CSS. We'll be covering there. And we have seen what is Vercel. So Vercel we will use to deploy all our front end. Even React apps we will deploy in Vercel. Backend we have to use a platform called Render. So the Express app which we build, we'll be deploying in Render. Okay, so this is pretty much the curriculum. I'll share this PDF tomorrow in the group. Okay. So there'll be live classes from 9 to 10 p.m. So how it is happening? The classes will be 3 days per week. The entire duration is 3 months. We have a doubt and bug support. So this course, for the students of this course, we will have a open WhatsApp channel. What's open WhatsApp group where like you can post your doubts. Right now, the current WhatsApp group is so big, around to 10 to 15 members are there, so we cannot allow people to chat. But people who are taking this course, we will be creating another WhatsApp group where you can chat with the mentors. Okay, and once the course is done, we'll give certificate. And the batch for this starts next Monday. So today is 5th. So we are planning to start this batch on the next Monday. And we are keeping this batch specifically open for students, right? So it was their request, they want a course, full stack course, comprehensive course. So we have specifically designed this for college students at this pricing 1899. So I'm pretty sure like for most of the students, this will be affordable. So we have kept that in mind. Okay, while designing this course. These are the FAQs. The medium of instruction will be in English. So obviously you have to code in English, and you cannot code in Hindi or like any other like regional language like Karnataka, Kannada or Tamil, right? So you have to code in English. So we also keep the classes in English, right? When you're giving interviews also, if you are like trying for remote jobs outside the country, you have to get good in English. So we keep the medium of classes in English. And this course doesn't provide placement support. So we don't give placement support for this course. We teach everything, right? So we have done this course before also, right? So for that, like we teach the students in college, and they get placed well before their friends. Since they have done this course, they will know like the full stack part of Mon and like JavaScript and all. So they get actually placed before their friends because they know to build apps and they have built their proper GitHub profile and everything. So they get placed before their friends in after completing this course. Okay, so this is one thing which we can do. And next is, if you encounter bugs and errors, we have a WhatsApp group. Trust me, when you start to learn, you'll get stuck multiple times, and that will be pretty demotivating when you don't have any assistance. You will just give up trying to learn to code. So this WhatsApp group will be open. So whenever you have a doubt, immediately you can post, and one mentor will get on a call with you to resolve the doubt, or he will chat with you to resolve the doubt. So we will make sure that you are not getting stuck anywhere in this course. Okay. Can non-college students apply for this course? No. So we have kept it closed only for college students right now. So it's only for college students. And are the live sessions recorded for later access? Yes. Like how this session is recorded, we will record and share the access to the students. Do you have a free trial? So this is actually the free trial which is happening right now. So you can The recordings of this free trial is available here. The slides of this HTML CSS is available here. You can go through it. And what projects we build weather app, JSON placeholder API, some college courses portal. So this is a full stack app, college courses portal, and the final project is a Facebook clone. So right now we have just only built HTML CSS part of the front end. Okay, we will build the front end in React. Okay, and backend we will build in Express and like in DB. So these two projects are like proper full stack projects. It will take these are like complex projects which will be a good addition to your portfolio to show to your recruiters, right? So these couple of projects will be like complicated projects, and you will learn a lot of things while building these projects. Okay, pretty much that is it. So you can DM on this number. I'll share this PDF, right? So you can DM on this number if you have any further doubts. Okay, so the batch starts on Feb 12th. So before that, if you're interested, you can apply for this course. So to apply, you need to fill out these forms. Okay, so I'll put it in the chat. So you can fill out these forms if you're interested. So we will get in touch with you. Like if you have any doubts, also you can ask us in this WhatsApp number. If you have any doubts, you can ask this WhatsApp number. Right. Yeah, pretty much that is it. So people who have taken this HTML CSS batch, I'm really like happy that you have taken this and you have learned it. I'm sure like for all of you, this would have been really helpful. Okay. Any doubts you have with respect to the HTML CSS which we have covered? So we have done a lot of work in Sir 1 and the inspect. Okay. Can you give your LinkedIn and GitHub ID? Sure. This is my LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. My GitHub is here. Yeah. My LinkedIn and GitHub. Do we get a certificate for this class? So what you guys can do is this final project is there, right? You can upload it on GitHub. I've shown you how to upload it on GitHub. You can upload it on GitHub and you can DM us the project link in this number. This number is there, right? This 952422. So this is the number which we will use to post all the details, right? So if you open our WhatsApp, so this number 952422. So this is the number which we give to which we use to post messages. So that number I've shared it here. You can see that number. So this number, to this number you can share your GitHub this repo link. So I have uploaded the repo right now. This link. Once you upload, you can send this link to us, DM us this link. So once you DM us this link, we will give the certificate, right? Because you have to complete the project. So that is the purpose of this course. You can go through the recordings of all the previous classes and complete this project. You can upload it to GitHub and send the link. So once you send the link, we will give out the certificates, right? Otherwise, we don't know whether you have learned it or not. So you have to share the link. You can DM the link and then we will give the certificate. There are few more questions. Once inspect the final project. Okay. So this is the final project. What you want to see here? This question was asked by Naveen Vodnala. So I have inspected the project. I mean, like, what you want me to do here? Naveen, if you are in the call, you can let me know what you wanted to do with the inspect. Okay, so you wanted to check if it is responsive. I can show you. So this page is responsive only, right? Nothing breaks once we reach the 400 pixels range. Obviously, like there are a lot of other things which we can do to change the layout and all, but this is enough because our thing is to not become a expert in CSS. CSS itself is like a very big ocean, right? So it'll almost take 2 months to like cover like each and everything. But at the end of the day, that is not going to give you motivation to learn full stack. So this HTML, CSS, as much as possible, we will cover just the important things. Then the real learning happens in JavaScript and React and Express, because like at least you need to have at least you need to know React to get a job. Just with HTML, CSS, you won't be able to get a job. Okay, so if you're interested in front end, you need to know React. Okay, to get a job. So obviously there is a ocean of concepts in every kind of like a thing you take. There is an ocean of concepts, right? So obviously we can take this example of English. There are like infinite words in English, but we don't need to know all the words to like speak in English, right? So we only know limited amount of words. So like that, for any kind of technology, you need to know few things. Okay, at least a decent amount of knowledge. Other things, whenever it is required, you can learn. You don't have to learn everything. You can't learn everything. Lifetime won't be enough to learn everything. Because there are like so many concepts in each and every particular thing. If you take HTML also, there are like hundreds of tags. CSS also hundreds of concepts are there, and like JavaScript we have to learn in detail. So there is no here there is no compromise in that. But yeah, so these things are whichever is not required. You don't have to break your head in that. This all mistakes we did when we tried to learn. Me and the other mentors, we struggled so much to learn this HTML and CSS. And HTML, I learned like Flexbox and like other random stuff which I'm not even using nowadays. So we are trying to make sure that you guys don't waste time in that, and that's why like we have carefully designed this curriculum so that like quickly you can develop things, and which keeps you motivated. Otherwise you will the motivation will drop in between if you are like learning unnecessary things and wasting time in that. Hrithik, yeah, you make it your way, however you want, right? The basic structure should be there, but you can make it without Bulma. You can use Bootstrap, you can use Tailwind, whatever CSS, or you can, if you are adventurous, you can just create everything with CSS, vanilla CSS, without using any framework. So you have already done the project, but when you inspect it, the page is broken. Okay. So what you can do is you can upload the file to GitHub, right? You can upload the project to GitHub, and you can share us the code. You can DM us in this number. I've sent the number here, right? So you can DM us the project link in this number. We will try to get the bug fixed. So why it's breaking, we will see to that, and we'll get it fixed. Is that fine? And Hrithik, yeah, you can use any framework, or you can do it in any way, but just make sure the structure is there, like some that card structure is there, right? Some image and like some name, some card details, and post image. Any other doubts or feedbacks you have on this class, like on this HTML, CSS, anything, any feedback you have, or like, can you just give like, can you tell how was it? Yeah, welcome, sure. Like, yeah, I we also feel good when we like teach things, right? So we feel good when we like give out knowledge. So yeah, thank you for taking your time to join the course. Any other things you want to talk? Because mm, obviously we'll have few more like not HTML CSS, but I'm planning to have some more sessions, free sessions this week. uh, it can be anything. We have not decided on the topic, so it could be like probably like introduction to React, or like some web developer roadmap. So these kind of things we are planning to have this week. So on two classes we will have probably in this week, free classes. That won't be related to HTML CSS. It will be a general master class. uh, yeah, any other things you guys want to say? Any feedback? Okay, so if there is nothing, then yeah, that will be it. uh, you want to join the course, you have exams. Okay, no problem. You can see like if exams are important, you can take that. Right, so exams are obviously important, like you have to take that. Probably we will you can join the course next time, or sometime some other time when you have time. Okay. um, if there is no other question, then like let's wrap up the call. Thank you so much guys for taking this course. Yeah, excited to teach you guys. Yeah, thank you so much.